am back with a new chapter on Princess Diaries. My name is Chris Kaylin, and I am your host, and I am so excited. I feel like I should ask for an autograph. I'm kind of starstruck. I don't know what's going on here, but I am super excited to be here with Miss Quiana Parler, two-time Grammy winner, singer, songstress, actor. She just does it all. An amazing mom and just a complete badass. And I'm just so excited to just be in your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you for blessing me with this interview. Like, we were supposed to do this like a minute ago.
I mean, really, yeah.
But like, we're here.
Here we are.
We're here, and I appreciate your
My
patience
favorite colors.
and just sitting with me. So like, before we start, how are you?
I'm good. I'm great, actually.
That's good.
I'm blessed.
You look so good. I love your hair. I love the look. You look like you're glowing.
Aww.
Like you look happy from the inside out. So like, if that's how you feel, then it's definitely showing and it's showing out.
God has been good. I recently lost over 100 pounds.
Come on.
So I am.
Yes, and you look amazing.
I feel like a new 45-year-old empty nester almost. So yeah.
I love that. And so like, since we started there, like I know like a lot of times when people lose that amount of weight, it's just like it's the I still think I'm bigger than what I am, and then it's just like adjusting to getting new clothes. So first of all, you're fabulous. I love this.
Thank you.
So like, what was that adjustment like?
Oh Lord, it was a roller coaster ride.
Really?
Yeah, I had gastric bypass surgery April 2023, and it really changed my life. Like I never thought about how the stomach and the brain work together. You know, we always thought, okay, here's the brain, here's the stomach, but it created chaos. It created. And I'm finally back to normal.
I love that for you.
So it was a roller coaster ride, but I'm glad to be here. I have a whole new outlook on life.
I love that. And it's like you can start over. It doesn't matter. And you did say you're almost an empty nester.
Yes. My son graduates in a few weeks from high school.
Congratulations. Yeah. So does he have plans, college, military, working?
Yeah. We're going to Trident Tech.
Love that.
Yes. And he wants to be a longshoreman, so...
He know what he's trying to do. I'm gonna say he know where the money is.
Yep.
You know, I love that. But no, that's just really good. So like, you just like I said, you look happy.
Thank you.
Just all that good stuff. So before we get into all your accomplishments and everything, I always tell people like, you build things brick by brick, and before you got to where you are, you started somewhere. So like, when did little Quiana Parler say, I think that I want to sing and act and just do all these amazing things? So like, when did all of this come about?
Oh Lord, I don't know anything other than singing. My parents were both singers. My dad he was in a funk band, and in the 70s, and it's still charting actually in Europe now. He didn't know. Someone else told me about it. I found it when I was in Europe. And
I love that.
Yeah, both my parents were wedding singers in our community. And music has always been a major part of our lives. And I would rehearse with my dad when my mom would be at night school. And my grandfather convinced her to put me in vocal lessons at the Dock Street Theater. And
awesome.
That's when the whole pivotal moment of me doing my first production of Annie.
Oh,
I played July, a little black girl in Annie, the production of Annie. Yeah. So, and I studied with June Bonner for a long time. She was a Metropolitan Opera singer, and I've been in the Charleston scene since then. And it's been because of her that my introduction to the Charleston scene and professional scene, where I started paying taxes at a young age.
Professional singer.
Yeah. So it started when I was a young little girl. Everybody says, I know you started in church. I did, but I'm also classically trained, and because of June, all of these doors were open, and then I joined the Serenade Show. That was the first. The Serenade Show it housed the Charleston Music Hall.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we were the first production here, and I worked 5 nights a week at the Charleston Music Hall from the age of 15.
And to be in Charleston and do that, like, if you have some conversations with, some singers down here, they would think that it's like, you're delusional. It's no way. Like, but it's possible. It can happen. And clearly we have living proof. So like all type of mediums, you from opera to jazz to everything in between. So this may be a crazy question. Do you have a favorite medium that you would like to perform?
I don't. I like to sing everything.
Because you love singing.
I do. And that's been the problem with releasing a solo project, because I do a little bit of everything.
Right.
It's hard. What do you narrow it down to?
Right.
I think we're getting closer and closer to what I'm going to do. That's why Ranky Tanky has been so important to me and my life and my gift of song, because I can put all of that together, because, you know, we take Gullah songs and Gullah nursery rhymes and turn them into contemporary music. So I'm able to take the Gullah culture, which is the root to all music, American history, and just make it my own. So that's why it's so important to us and to me and my song genre.
And I love how we're tapping into Ranky Tanky in the Gullah culture. So when I saw, first of all, I always call him Mr. Singleton. I know you call him Charlton. I went to School of the Arts, and he was the band teacher when I was there. So I'm like, oh my gosh, Mr. Singleton. So, you know, when I heard about the band and just hearing it, and like, just the sound of it, you know, like, so if you're from Charleston, we have the Gullah Geechee dialect. If you don't know what it is, you gotta get in, you gotta learn. It's a thing.
Completely different from New Orleans.
Completely different. And I'm like, you probably hear it when I'm talking now.
Yep.
But like, so, you know, you gave us a bit of that history. So like, how did Ranky Tank, like, how did all these amazing minds come together? Because we have Quentin Baxter, drums and percussion, Kevin Hamilton on bass, you, the vocalist, Clay Ross, guitar and vocals, and Charlton Singleton on trumpet and vocals. So like, how did you all say, we're gonna put this together?
Well, it actually started before me. Clay, the guitarist in the group, he was in a band. He has a band called Matuto, and he toured the world. And he came to Charlton and Quentin and Kevin. He said, you know, they're celebrating every culture as he's touring the world except the Gullah culture. And he felt like it was something that was missing and needed. So that's how they came up with the group. And they first started with no vocals, and then they brought me on. And so we reconstructed some things, and here we are 2 Grammys later. Like, but it was funny because I didn't know the name of the band when we did our first event at Marion Square.
I'm just here to sing.
Yeah, I was at first night, and it was me and Charlton and Clay. And they said, coming to the stage now is Ranky Tanky. We was like, well, who's that? And he was like, that's us. And we went on stage. I didn't know what Ranky Tanky meant. I didn't know anything. We didn't bother to ask Clay the name of the band, you know, because I was like, well, he always comes up with these cool band names. So
and we're just going to trust him.
Yeah, but Ranky Tanky really means work it and get funky in Gullah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And y'all do that.
We try. Name. Yeah.
Love that definition.
Yeah.
Definitely doing that. So, like, that is hilarious. Like,
nobody ever asked him the name of the band.
We're like, we're just here to sing. We're here to perform. So, after that first performance, were you like, this is something special? We got something here?
No. Actually, I was like, okay. Well, you know, because the Gullah culture, you know, it's all spiritual based, you know. And this is a way of life for us. You know, Quentin's from downtown, Kevin's from James Island. It's a way of life. We never thought of the music as, a genre and culture, you know, music culture outside of Charleston. It's what we've always lived and known. So, but it has taken off. And, you know, once we started building and I guess the meeting of the minds, when you become a band, the sound becomes one. It started growing and it started taking off. All of my other friends, they were like, you know, you can win a Grammy from this. I was like, really? Really? Because we've only always lived and known the Gullah culture. That's it's in us. We don't even speak about it. It's just us, you know, like, you know, I don't think French people, especially because I'm Spanish, I'm French. It's our life. Right. You know, it's what we live. So, but now when we tour and we get to do artists in residence, like I have a Gullah curriculum with Carnegie Hall. Awesome. Yeah, and they really didn't know that, you know, Kumbaya is from the Gullah people. They think it's from like Boy Scouts, Girls, Cub Scouts, you know. So getting to teach people that, you know, our history and how rich the heritage is. Right. It's more than just the food and you know, so. The food and the drinks and everything else is actual culture behind it, behind everything that we do. And I really want to tap into your class that you teach at Carnegie Hall. So like, how was that? Did they reach out to you? Did you reach out to them? Like, tell us about the course. Give me a little Hillman University 101. Yeah, so Carnegie Hall Kids, it's called Musical Explorers. Awesome. Yeah, and it's a curriculum. You can go online, and what we first did was we came up with the Gullah curriculum. I worked very hard with the team at Carnegie, and I brought the band with me, some other like CL Baxter and Kevin and Charlton, and they went with me to New York, and we taught the Gullah curriculum, and as well as hip hop.
Wow.
There were other artists, hip hop and African music, West African music, to the kids of the state of New York. Thousands of kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is huge. And it's like, you know, that connection is there. And a lot of people don't realize that. But your cousins from New York who always come down to the South.
Started in the South. They moved to New York. Yep.
So, like, just being able to, like, carry that torch.
Yep.
It's a beautiful thing. And just to share the culture. So, like, how were the kids? Did they love it?
Oh, my God. They were hyped. It was like we were celebrities to them. Because, you know, we did workshops with the teachers, and the teachers went back and taught them what we taught them.
Awesome.
And then so once the kids, they saw us in video and the workbooks and everything, and so once they saw us, we were like celebrities to them.
And one thing about kids, like, and I always tell, that's how you pass the cool meter. Like, if you go into schools and you're just like, oh my God, it's like, okay, you're cool. Like, whatever you say goes. Like, you are the emperor of that school, and they love it. And because kids are just so pure, and they will tell you if they do not like it. So the fact that they like you, like, you're winning. You know,
listen.
I mean, the Grammy, the kids liking you, like, it's a toss-up.
Yeah, they like me, and I like them too. You know, I do it now with the Charleston Jazz Academy.
Awesome.
So I go into schools here as well, and now I have a baby bebop class that I teach on Mondays.
That is so cute. Okay, wait, what's the baby bebop class?
It's music, teaching kids music and the phenomenon of some of these YouTube vloggers, you know, streamers, that these kids know. Some of these kids can't talk, because my kids are from age 1 to 4.
Right.
Some of them, they can't talk, but they're learning music. They all know rhythm. We're teaching them rhythm and music and sound and sight through music.
Right.
So it's baby bebop. So I'm hitting every age group that I can.
You're
with this.
not missing anything. And it's just like, so outside of this, I was teaching dance at an elementary school, and just seeing like how they just are so receptive in life of the Black History program. We did like a 2000s mashup, and it was, I'll show you the videos of my kids afterwards.
Please do.
But like, and just seeing like how kids just love the arts, and like growing up, you know, having an opportunity. We're both Pegasus. We both went to School of the Arts, but like just being able to be exposed to the arts and being around it. And it's like, you know, when you see kids who don't have the opportunity. So I just love, and not only being exposed to the arts, but by people who look like us. Because a lot of times they don't think that it's possible. And it's like, oh, it's never going to happen. So I feel like when you go back into schools and you go back in the community, and they can see it and they can visualize someone that came from where I came from, it's possible. Like, it can happen. It can definitely happen. So diving back a little bit, you know, when your friends told you that you can win a Grammy from this.
Yeah, I was like, what?
So not only, okay, so you're in the studio creating this album that you did not know would be nominated, let alone win a Grammy. So like, when you're in the studio, what's the vibes like creating this album?
Well, the first album, we didn't get a nomination. But the first album, it really pivoted us because NPR, Fresh Air, picked us up, and that's what shot that album to #1.
Right.
The second album, Freedom, Good Time, that album felt different because we wrote on it. You know, the first album was cover songs from the culture, but the second album, it was just something that felt different about the second album. When we were done, it was like, this just feels different. You know, Freedom is about something that I was going through personally at the time, and I always tell people we don't make music to win Grammys, you know. So being nominated was a blessing, and an amazing honor. But it just felt, the second album felt different, and we put a lot of hard work into that second album, and to get nominated and to win was an amazing feeling.
And it's like when you're writing, like you said, because you were doing covers on the first one, so to know like these words that we came up with and this music, I'm pretty sure it made it much sweeter.
And it was still about the Gullah people and the Gullah culture, you know, spiritually, and it's worldwide. We're all going through something, you know, like we all bleed the same. We have so much more in common than we have different, you know, and I wish the world would realize that and unite, you know. So that was the biggest thing for me with the Good Time album. We did our video for Good Time here, which was so much fun with the locals here, and But the second Grammy, we went to New Orleans Jazz Fest.
Oh, I know that was a time.
It was so much fun because it was postponed for like 2 years because of COVID.
Right.
So when we finally got there, we signed off before we went on stage that they do live recordings and they release them. So it was Grammy time again, and we get an email, hey, we'd like to submit this for a possible, to be recognized from the Grammy Commission. And we're like, we forgot, we meant the album's out. We didn't even know the album was out.
Like
we had no idea.
When you're booked and busy.
We forgot about it. I was like, I know I listened to it because they wanted us to approve it. I was
Right.
like, I listened to it, but I forgot about it. And so that's how the second Grammy came about. We won again. It was from the live album, which had some of the first and second, and some of the stuff that's going to be on this new album that's coming out is on that album. So we just made music. We perform for the people, to reach people. I like calling I heal through music.
Yeah.
That's what I like to say. And so we're not on stage like, oh, this performance is going to
Get me a grant, right?
No.
You're just doing it for the love of music,
Yeah.
and I think that's what probably made the win so much sweeter. Because it's like you weren't saying, like you said, I'm not saying this is going to be my Grammy album. This album right here is going to win me a Grammy. It's like we making music because we love to make music. So like when you hear the album and you hear your name get called, what is that feeling like in that moment?
Okay, the first time.
Come on, because it's multiple times.
The first time I was shocked, but I used this new shea butter that I ordered online, and my feet we wiped my feet down before I got, and that shea butter was not leaving my body.
That is the worst. And you can rub your foot as hard in the carpet, and it's like, leave my foot. Ash, please.
Yes, and my boyfriend at the time went and got this paper towel and wet it, and so when people see me running, I was last because my feet was sliding. I was trying not to fall from all the shea butter on my feet. And I was so excited, but I was trying to keep it together because I had all that shea butter.
You didn't want to be viral for that.
Yes.
You did not want to go
that
viral
would have
for the
been
fall.
so embarrassing.
You only want to go viral for one thing, no more. We don't want the fall.
Yes.
But shout out to that shea butter company. Very moisturized.
Yes. Listen, I thought I wasn't going to make it. Then the second win, I was excited, but people didn't know. I didn't know I was allergic to synthetic weave because I put some synthetic hair in my hair. I got my hair in the bohemian locks. I was all swollen. They didn't even know.
Oh my gosh.
I got home. I had to go to the emergency room. I ended up at NYC.
No big deal.
Yes, I was like, we still going. I was on that plane swelling up. I was like,
oh,
my body.
Do you want a Benadryl?
Listen, but I was so excited, but I was about to die. I was swelling right on up.
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you made it. Glad you didn't die. And please don't put no more synthetic braiding hair back in your hair.
I'm allergic.
Let's not do that. We need you here.
Yeah.
No, that is just such an amazing thing. So like, what is touring like? Because I know a lot of people, album is one thing, but touring is a totally different thing. So what is touring like?
Well, my first tour was with Kelly Clarkson and Clay Aiken.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was like right off the American Idol.
American Idol.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that's when we had tour buses and tractor trailers and, plenty of us behind, it was a squad. And so I've been on the road for over 20 years before Ranky Tanky.
Right.
So I learned a lot. I met a lot of people on the road, and tour life it's a way of life. Mm-hmm. It's what it is, tour life. You have to adjust your body to the different time zones. Mm-hmm. And I tried to take my son when he was 2. It's no place for a baby.
And they always say road life is no place for a child.
We tried, and he was hanging in there, but the time zone changes. I had to send him back home. But it's really, I love being on a tour bus. Now at Ranky Tanky, we do fly dates. We don't do tour buses, which is great too. But traveling in these airports, it's brutal. It's different, but I like my air miles.
Jet lag.
Yeah, and I get jet lag real bad too.
Listen, it's just like, hold on, I'm trying to pull it together.
Yeah. So, but I love being on the road, and we get along. That means a lot too. 'Cause if you don't like the person you're touring with, it could be hell.
A lot of these groups did not last.
They don't like each other.
They do not make it.
Each one of them got their own bus, right? Because they don't get along. But no, we travel together. We fly, and then we get in the car service, and we travel, and it's still a way of life, even with flying. And for me as a female, protecting myself, they protect me, make sure I'm I'm well taken care of.
Right.
So yeah.
And that's a good thing, being in this industry, because as a woman in this industry, it's so many people who just want to take advantage of you and just, not wish the best for you and just somehow come out on top. So like, I'm glad that you have that safety net, because it feels good to not have to worry about things like that. Yeah. So you can just really be at peace. So that's definitely a thing. So like, for up-and-coming artists, because, Charleston, I feel like it's bubbling with so much talent, but a lot of times, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's a consistency. I don't know if management. I don't know sometimes. So, like, for an inspiring artist who's just, trying to make it out, not even necessarily, like, Grammy, but, like, just to have someone hear them, what advice would you give them?
Well, I would say it's so much easier now than it was 20 years ago, because we have social media. Right. We have these different platforms where you can upload your music. Like, some of my favorite artists are from TikTok and Instagram. Right. They're not big on these big major stages, but you're also starting to see where these major artists are starting to work with them online because they have so much more followers, and it's a whole nother world. And my son opened me up to that. One day I was driving downtown, and he was younger, and he started screaming, "Mommy, that's such and such." And I was like, "Who?" He's like, "From YouTube." I was like, "Chamberlain, you have famous godparents. You have this, you have that." YouTubers. And he was fanning out. I was embarrassed, but I'm starting to learn. Especially, I'm a big Kai Cenat fan. Right.
Those are new. The streamers. Those are the new stars.
Yes, they are.
That's the thing. It's just like, you're cool, Mom, but that's guys, and I'm like, it's like, excuse me, do you know who I am? Like,
exactly.
No, so, this is someone who just stays streaming all day
long, and I get it now. But I would say, think of success. I have famous broke friends. I'd rather be successful versus fame. That's two different levels.
And I definitely want to touch on that, because we were talking about that off camera a little bit. And so I just feel like that's so much. A lot of people, they see the fame and all these different things, but a lot of times my mom would always say, like, never get envious of what you see people have, because you don't know what's going on behind those closed doors. You don't know how they got it. It may not even be theirs. Yep. But it's like, so when you say it's a difference between success and fame, can you break that down for us just a little bit?
Well, there's levels to the entertainment industry. When people say, well, I'll be glad when I get to see you on the big stage, but you don't realize some of these big stages, the artists don't make any money. They're not making any money. If they're not touring, they're not making any money. Right. And streaming sales, the way they pay you is a monopoly. And I would much rather be successful, because I have a successful party band here. I still do my weddings because Charleston's the #1 destination wedding location.
Wedding place. Wedding capital.
I will forever do my weddings.
I wish I knew how to sing. Let me tell you something.
They got a whole other thing that I can tell you about you can make some money off of. Off camera, we'll talk about that. But yeah, I'm all about making money.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Legit money.
Hello, because we don't have time for that. Big, legit, underline.
Yeah.
But like, I will say, a lot of times, and that's the thing, I feel like we have a lot of artists, and because, it's huge for weddings down here, we have a lot of cover bands down here, and they're booked every weekend. Yep. And to me, like, if I can pay my bills and I can travel or do whatever I need to do, that's successful to me. Yep. But then, you have some people, it's like, well, I want to go to the BET Awards, I want to be on the Grammy carpet, I want to do this, and that's cool, but like, so many times you get paid in exposure bucks.
And everybody wants, a famous person rhythm, but not their blues. Because there's some blues behind the scenes. Like, I have stories for days even about myself. Like, there's levels, and I said, even with Ranky Tanky, we crawled before we walked. Like, y'all don't notice the struggle we went through, from we riding in the raggy van to advancing, to where we are now.
To having fly dates.
Yes.
Like, you got to start, you have to start somewhere. And every time someone was like, you got to build things brick by brick. Yep. At that time, I didn't get it. Because, like, when I graduated, it was like that cusp of like, it wasn't TikTok yet, but like Instagram was popping. And it's like, okay, I'm doing my interview series, posting that. And it's like, okay, I'm getting attention. So like, cool. But then it's just like, okay, when you get hired by like these corporations and you're working for like TV station, news station, whatever, you realize that it's like, oh, you what is it? You can't skip past the program.
Cannot.
You cannot skip past the program. That program, like, you can be the bee's knees on whatever platform, and you can be making money off that. Love that for you. But like, when you get into like real corporations, real working industries, you're going to see that you're building that thing brick by brick.
Brick by brick. And you are a small piece of
a bigger conglomerate.
Yep.
It's like, to you and all your followers, you that girl, you that guy. But to this conglomerate, you are one small piece.
Disposable.
Very. Yep. And you just hate to say, but that's...
But you notice you have more celebrities now going to their own YouTube shows.
Yes.
I love what Shannon Sharp has done. I love what Nas and Cameron has done. Like, I watch that type of stuff. And
literally, my mom was just talking because I was telling about the podcast and everything, and she was like, Don Lemon, like, he got fired from CNN and now he's on YouTube.
Yep.
Like, Jason Lee has his stuff on YouTube, and now he has like the network with Zeus, like the partnership. So it's like, when you realize that you can leverage social media and these platforms to your needs, but also in the same sense, it's like, okay, I have to let them know, like, that you need me. You need me. You need my show.
You need my numbers.
You need my numbers. And this is a partnership. You're not going to own this. Like, we can partner this, but you're not going to own this. And I often think about what happened with Pinky Carter with Slutty Vegan. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, she had to buy back her company.
Buy her company back.
Like, she had to sell all of her property to buy her company back.
Isn't that crazy?
Like,
and smile like it was still all good.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And she was just like, pretty much it was too many people at the table, and you just got to start, streamlining some things. And it's just like, don't give up ownership.
Do not
give up ownership. Everything is yours. So like, back to you. So like, what the creative process, like, what is your favorite? Do you like writing, rehearsing, recording, performing, touring? Like, it's just so many, and you probably like some for certain reasons, but like, maybe in order, what's your favorite?
I like performing because a lot of people, what they don't understand is what it takes to get to the performance part, the business side that we deal with constantly. Emails, and like, I have friends, I was like, I'm working today. It's like, what? I was like, yeah, I work from home. Like, I have to respond to these emails that I've been hiding from for a few days.
Exactly.
I gotta respond from.
Right?
And these questions that need to be answered, and that's the hard part, the business part.
Yeah.
The singing and the performance, we made it out of the chat group. This is the easiest part, is the performing part.
I always tell people that, and they're just like, do you get nervous before you go on stage? So like, the thing, when you say your dad was in a band, my dad was in a band too. So like, do you remember Alice that used to be downtown?
Yeah.
So my dad used to perform at Alice, and
what did he sing or play?
He played the drums. My dad played the congas.
Wow.
So like, when he would bring me there, I would always like dance in front of the stage. So that's like, he ended up knowing my dance, the lady who taught dance. So that's how I ended up dancing and just performing. But it's like, when growing up, like, I always was comfortable. And I remember you talking about like your play, like my first play, I was in kindergarten, Bug's Life. I was the mistress of ceremony. But like, so it's like, I always felt comfortable on stage. So like, even when I'm hosting or doing things, people would always say like, are you nervous? And I'm like, that's where I feel the most comfortable. Like you said, like handling the business aspect, like, okay, the contracts, all that good. Just give me the mic.
Yes.
Give me the mic. Let's let me go out and have a good time. And that's where I am most comfortable. And like, it's funny. I said, I hate going to the gym. And they're like, why? I was like, I don't like going any place where I don't know what I'm doing.
Listen, I like a small boutique gym where nobody don't know my name.
Listen, and that's why I was like, I do not, because I don't like not looking like I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like in the gym, everyone's staring at you. I just feel like it's a stage. It might be mental. I don't care. That's what I think. And it's like, I don't want to like
mess up.
Yeah. And it's just like, when I have the mic, I know I'm not going to mess up. And if I do, you won't know. So like, that's just the thing I just feel about being a performer and a natural performer. And and it's one of those things that you just, either you got it or you don't. And I hate to say it like that, but it's just like, I was at a high school. I can't remember which one. And the young lady, she was like, well, I don't like to talk in front of people. And I'm like, well, this may not be for you. I was like, you can do production. I was like, you can write a script. I was like, everything in entertainment, you don't necessarily have to be in front of the camera. But if you know, when you get up in front of people and feel like your whole body is about to collapse, this might not be for you. And it's okay. But you can find other ways and other workarounds. So like, I just love when people can find out like what makes them tick. What they're passionate about.
My fear, small crowds.
Really?
Like, if you ask me to sing right now,
Really?
I get so nervous. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Because you feel like everyone could, like, I could see everyone and everyone could see me.
Yeah, because I'm really an introvert.
True.
You know, and, but don't ask me to sing in front of a small crowd because I just cannot do it. I can't open my eyes. It is the weirdest thing, but I don't have a problem going out for thousands of people.
But no problem. Just
no problem.
Doing it up. It's like, I see you and I see you. I love you.
Yeah.
Buddy, I love you.
Yeah, but a small crowd, I cannot do it. But I just, you know, this industry has changed so much, and there's so many different ways for people to be successful.
Yes.
Like you could sit home and make so much money. You can have your own private concerts without leaving home and make bank
and do it. And people are doing it.
Yep.
From streaming it to putting it on YouTube to going on TikTok. They are doing it and it's happening. So it's not like it's crazy. It's happening. So shifting gears just a little bit. So like, I feel like AI is like taking over and being able, and because you know you're an artist, so is in anyone with a public platform, but like the idea that someone can like take your voice, manipulate it, put it on a song that you didn't give approval for, like how do you feel about AI in that aspect?
It's actually starting to scare me.
Yeah.
But then I said to my friend a few days ago, I said, people still want to experience live concerts.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So
yes.
I think we're going to be okay as long as we're still able to perform and tour and perform live music. There's a big difference. Like you can listen to some good music on your iPod or on your Echo, whatever. The iPod doesn't exist anymore.
It's okay. It's okay.
The stream, yeah. But it's not the same as going to hear a live band or a live concert.
I tell people I love live music. If there's a concert, whatever, I want to go. Literally sold my left leg to get my Beyonce ticket. I got to sell my right arm for my Chris Brown ticket. So like, but and the thing about it, why I was just so pressed about this Chris Brown concert, like I never had a chance to see him in concert like growing up.
Okay.
And it's just like from the whole rotating stage I was like, I have to see Chris Brown, like, and now this is like the 20th reunion, like I can't miss it.
Yep.
So like just that experience, but even down to local shows, like they had a cover band for Bob Marley's birthday at Powerhouse, and like Tanya Nicole, she did
She's
like Sonic. Yeah. That's so
my
cool.
neighbor.
But like just seeing like other just hearing live music, and I just always go out. I always support, like when y'all do the Christmas show and the Valentine's Day show, love it. Like, so always been a fan of live music and just being in the atmosphere, and just so I do agree in that aspect, because like with AI is cool, but it's like when it's time to perform, I don't want to see iRobot doing anything.
Nope,
like
I don't need a RoboCop for nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing
at all. So like, as a black woman, you know, we got to work. No, I don't even want to say twice as hard. I feel like 10 times as hard sometimes, honestly. But like, you know, are black women in music, do you still feel like they're still fighting the same fight that we were fighting decades ago, and with pay gaps and just sometimes just being, not sometimes, just being sexualized, and it's just like, when are we going to stop doing this?
I think it's the same thing, different date.
Yeah.
I really think that's what it is. And being a black woman in a male-dominated industry, it's trying to find that balance of not being looked at. You know, they always say you're aggressive or you're a bitch.
You hard to work with.
Because you about your business, you know.
And you don't want to be on the casting couch.
Exactly.
And I'm just not going to let you violate me and do whatever.
Exactly. So put the same respect on my name that you would do as the men that's around us, because we work twice as hard, because I watch these guys just put on suits and just go on stage, and then we're over here doing hair and makeup.
Full-blown glam.
Y'all have no idea.
And it's just like, and if you don't show up in full-blown glam, it's going to be like, well, what's wrong with you?
She's going through some things.
Like,
they always like to say, you know, she's going through something. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But like, and also, you know, being in this industry, because for me, like right now, I'm not dating. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay,
join the club.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm here.
Join
okay, I'm here. But it's like, I do feel like in this industry, like being in entertainment, dating is such a tricky thing, and it's just like, I did come to the conclusion I do not want to date anyone in the entertainment industry.
Never have.
But it's just like, I feel like men look, and I feel like I can have this conversation with you because you understand where I'm coming from, but I feel like men admire us to a point where it's just kind of like, I think you're amazing, I'm so infatuated with you, but then it's just kind of like, when I get close enough to you, and I don't know if it's just me, but like I gotta humble you and I gotta like bring you down and remind you like who you think you are. Like, is that a thing? Or
Well, it's for us in this business, because in our profession, we have to have that alpha female personality in order to not be taken advantage of.
Right.
You got to be careful not to date a fan.
That's the thing.
Because you're going to meet the representative at first.
Oh my, come on. One more time. You're going to meet the who at first?
Representative.
Okay.
Yes. And you got to be careful not to date a fan, but then you got to also be careful not to date an arrogant man who is a narcissist or full of themselves, you know? So finding balance with that has been a challenge for me.
Oh my gosh. Like, I just feel like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
I'm floating by the seat of my pants.
That's
I'm like,
it.
Universe, I am open to receiving whatever is good.
Like, I decided to come out my house, and
part.
I came out of my house, so now I'm here.
Yep.
But I was like, universe, you got to do the rest.
Yes.
Because I just keep the crazies away.
Yep.
Keep the crazies, keep the fans away, and but yeah, I just feel like being a woman, like you say, at a certain point, we do have to be alpha women. It's like, I'm about my business, and we're not doing this. Mm-hmm. But it's just that doesn't mean that I can't be soft at the same time.
Off camera, I'm soft.
Right. And it's just kind of like, I'm very much of like, what you doing? Where you at? I want to see you. But it's just like, you have to have that person that makes you feel comfortable doing that too.
And balance of the schedule, your lifestyle, and the attention that you get.
And that's the thing where I feel like men like it, but it's just like when, it's like when they see other men and women giving you the attention, it just triggers something weird. And it's just like, but you saw me getting this attention when you too were once giving me that
attention. Same attention.
And it's like, what, am I crazy? Like, am I losing it?
That's the time we're living in.
It's human nature. I think it's human nature. And that's why I feel like I'm just so dead set on like, I prefer a partner like, not only are you're in your own industry, but like you are dominating that industry. Yep. And like, it just, for the ego. Like, long as it's feeding your ego, that way you're not trying to chip away at mine.
And we're not competing.
Yeah.
We should never compete when we're in a relationship, and chances are I might make more money than you, but when I make, we make.
Right.
When I win, we win.
Right.
And that's why that's important to me too, find a balance. But I'm also learning this horoscope thing about I'm a Capricorn, you're this, you're that.
Then Mercury being retrograde.
Oh, girl, don't get me started about Mercury and retrograde.
First of all, Mercury and retrograde.
Last week or something like that?
I'm so happy it's over because these stones were turning over, and I'm like, why are you here? Please leave.
Yes.
No.
This stuff is real.
It is. It really is. And when you're just out, it's just like you're just dealing with a lot of people, a lot of vibes, a lot of different spirits. So like you have to be prepared for whatever you're about to just deal with and focus with. But like, don't want to hold you forever. Oh. But by rounding up my last questions, what do you think about the music scene in Charleston right now?
There's so many talented musicians, vocalists, and bands. I mean, this is almost like the heartbeat of, not only because of the transatlantic slave, like it started here, music, like I said, Gullah music is a root to all music. So you have the Jenkins Orphanage, you have the jazz, you have this. So much music has been birthed from Charleston.
Yes.
So it's only right that there is so many talented people here. I think on the music scene, as far as like the clubs and stuff, the pay grade could probably be, the rate could be better, but we have to stop settling and unite as far as that, We have
to make like a union or something.
And there are unions,
right.
But you have to be willing to say no,
right.
And if it's, I believe in one band, one sound.
Okay.
And it's not a competition. There's so much and so many gigs and events to go around for everybody. There should never be a competition between the artists, and it's crazy.
It's so many people out here. There's so many opportunities. I'm just like, listen, I wish I could make a band.
Yeah, but you have to not settle for, I just want to play music.
Right.
I'll take this gig for $50 because it hurts. Like, I used to sing at a band called Mitchell's on the Market back early 2000s. And I was making a living from singing there 3 to 4 nights a week. And now when I look at what's being paid now,
right,
completely different from what I was making then. But that's because...
And it's not a good different, I don't think.
No.
Yeah.
And then you have people that they have full-time jobs, so this is just like a hobby for them, so they'll take less.
Right.
Because the owners, they just want their customers to be entertained.
That's it.
Like for me, the only place you could see me sing publicly live is on Hilton Head Island at Jazz Corner, which is top 5 destination jazz club in the world.
Right.
You know, and it's on purpose because they take care of me there, and it's a family, and they've been there for 25 years.
Hello.
Owned by a female.
Ooh, love that.
A woman,
love
yes.
That.
7 nights a week, music, live music, and it's family. So I drive to Hilton Head twice a month, and
Right.
I perform at Jazz Corner. I made it my mission to not like spread myself thin,
Right.
on these in these clubs, because it's not financially, it's not worth it for me to. I can stay home and save money
And knock it down, because you got to do the glam, you got to get the outfit, do the hair, just do everything, and it's just like I'm spending the money, and then when I get back, it's like I just equal it out. It's not that I don't come up on top. It's not a profit. It's just I'm making back what I kicked out to get here.
Yep. So that's why I like the Jazz Corner, and I love it's really a family. I was supposed to be there for like, I think 2 weeks. It's gone on 5 years now.
I love that.
Hilton Head is really my second home.
Literally, because I know when we try to schedule, you had to go to Hilton Head.
Yep.
Listen, I love it. And the fact that they are just giving you that respect. And I tell people, like, when you pay people what they're worth, it's just like, I feel like it's a mutual thing. Like, you understand my value, and you're not trying to haggle me. And it's nothing worth, like, hey, this is my price. If not, you can find someone else. But like to be seen in a way like that, that's really awesome.
Yeah, and people like come back like because it's a destination location as well for golfers and
tour everything.
I meet all kind of people.
They got the good people.
Yes, the master was the PJ.
Yeah, last week, right?
Yeah, that was in Augusta, but theirs is called PGA or something like that.
Yeah, the PGA.
That
tour.
was a master because Steve, my friend Steve, he was on The Voice. He did the national anthem there. So yeah, you're right. And but I love Hilton Head. I love Charleston, but I think the musicians here, they're so talented and not talked about enough, And but I just think there shouldn't be any competition or this is one band, one sound. Like my band members that I have in my party band, I've been with them 18, 19 years. I've had the same guys, and they tour. They tour with dynamic people, and we all come back and we play these weddings, And I think people be surprised how many celebrities play weddings too and corporate events.
When I realized, when I got into like the music scene in Charleston, like interviewing people, once I started to talk to the musicians, and I just got, really interested, because I'm like, y'all have like extensive resumes, like playing back up from Patti LaBelle to Jasmine Sullivan to like all the A$AP Rocky to like, it's just so many people. And like when I was working with Mike and Jordan, when we were doing our artist entertainment series, and just talking to these people, and it's just kind of like when you see them, it's just they're just so they don't have this like and you know what I'm saying, like that whole like ego type of thing. But like they'll play in a regular club in Charleston, they'll go to the Commodore, go play at Blue, like whatever, and it's just like they have these insane resumes, and that's what made me realize, I was like, oh, Charleston has it. Like when it comes, like it's not a matter of like the talent, because it's there. Like when I think about Justin Dees, who's like playing the keyboards at the NAACP and behind
hanging with Jeff Bezos,
right, just casually. So it's just like, seeing these people, and to know that they're from Charleston, like it warms my heart. And it's just like, I just want to scream to the top of the lungs, like, these people are from here. Like we have awesome people from here. So like just even being able to like sit across from you and just have this conversation, like I'm just so honored. And just to be around like greatness, because I just want people to know, like, we have it here, like,
and people come here.
Yes, people come here. Like you can go elsewhere, whatever, but like don't forget about your roots and like where you came from. And I just love that what you guys are doing with Ranky Tank. Like you're not forgetting your roots. You're not forgetting the Gullah roots. Like you're staying true to who you are, and like you're doing it in a way as to where like it crosses over like to everyone. And I just truly love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's been a blessing.
Yes, definitely. So you've done so many things. So is there anything left that like you still want to do, or like something that's still on your list? Because you've done it all.
I would love for my third part-time job, part-time voiceover.
Yes.
I would love that.
That's
Yeah.
like, okay, so deep down, not deep down, but like I don't want to say my final act, but my next act, I want to be a cartoon voiceover.
See?
So like, I really want to do that.
Yeah.
I love that. I feel like you would be the best cartoon voiceover or whatever.
And you know, we toured with Bobby McFerrin for a while, and that's the Don't Worry, Be Happy guy. And you know, Bobby uses his body to make sounds. And I was so excited to tour with Bobby because I started doing that stuff when, this is way before your time, Police Academy. There was a black guy in there who would make sounds, and I would mimic him. So I'm really good, but shy about the sounds that I can create and make. So just studying Bobby McFerrin on the road, and that I love creating sounds.
I love that.
I love that.
You got like a real life masterclass in real time working with him.
It was.
Oh, I love
Our
it.
class was in session.
And it's like, I'm studying everything that you're doing.
And now
I'm watching you.
Yep. And now we're on the road with Lisa Fisher, who was one of Luther's first original background singers. And
amazing.
we've been on the road with Lisa for years. And when I tell you I'm in school, when I'm on the road with Lisa Fisher.
You never stop learning. And that's why I tell people, in any craft, anything you're doing, you never stop learning. Like, you learn something new. You should want to learn something new every day. And just like, why not?
I'm a student.
Yeah, always, forever a student.
Yep.
Like, so what do you have coming up next? Where can we catch you on tour?
Oh, Lord.
Anything? Where can we stream some music? Tell it. How can we connect with you?
Oh, let's see. I still have my baby bop class, We Bop. That's on Mondays at Park Circle.
Oh,
Monday mornings. Yep. Sign up, bring your 1 to 4 year olds. And I'm at the Jazz Corner twice a month. You can check out the Jazz Corner's website. And Ranky Tanky still on the road. And we were just here a few weeks ago at the Charleston Music Hall.
Yes, and I just love how you never forget about home. You always come back and do a show at home. And I love that. Like, I was like, oh, they don't forget about the little people.
And this is home, is where it started and where our hearts are and where we live. And the new album. So we're going to release a new album soon. So we'll do a big release here, and should be fun.
I'm excited. How can we connect with you? Where are you on socials?
Oh, on Instagram, it's Q Parler, Quiana Parler, Quiana Parler on Instagram, and Facebook, Quiana Parler, and QuianaParler.com.
Yeah, and is there anything you want to leave the viewers with?
Don't stop believing. Don't give up, and use your gift. You know, that's been my mantra for years. Everybody has a gift. I don't care if it's handwriting. I saw somebody making money on TikTok just writing lyrics.
Literally.
Her handwriting is mesmerizing, you know, and creating sound. Everybody has a gift. Just hone into your gift and use it, you know, as long as it's not committing any crimes or getting you any time. Use your gift.
Yes, I love that. Well, make sure you're connecting with me, Chris Kalin, on Instagram, Facebook, the Chris Kalin on X and TikTok. And if you would like to rent out Link Studios to film your own podcast, make sure you do that. Thank you so much for this conversation. I love this so much. Aww. And I just can't wait to see everything that you have in store. I'm a fan. I'm honored. Like, thank you for sitting with me. I'm so appreciative.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yay. All right, that's a wrap.